to give you a background, Taken by Cars has 2 albums. Fortunately, we were blessed to have a really pushy manager, Mike Shi, who happens to be our batchmate as well in Xavier. So we used to hang out in the halls of Xavier playing music. And he pushed us, while we were writing music, he pushed us to write our album. We only had actually 3 main goals, right? Which was shops.
Yeah, our first main goal was to write our own music. Second one was to get played on the local rock radio station. And the third one was to play in a bar called Sagiho.
So, okay. So this is our second album, Dualist, that came out in 2011. And actually now we're working on our third album, just a shameless plug. And actually our 2 albums were able to give us a few opportunities, like being featured in Time Magazine, 2011. We were featured as one of the bands to watch out for in Asia. And because of this, we were invited to play in the second largest musical festival in the United States called South by Southwest, if anyone's familiar with that. We were able to play side by side with Bruce Springsteen, although he played in a way bigger stage than us. So that's what happened there. I just like to brag about it. So we were also blessed to play in neighboring countries like Singapore, Malaysia. Yeah, so we played in various music festivals, and we were able to open up for international bands like Cut Copy, the XX, if you're familiar with that. So that's us, but who we really are, we're actually quite old. We have an average age of 31 or 32, which puts us in the millennials. Ako lang yung nag-drag down ng average because I'm actually 18 years old. So we're actually millennials. We were born in 80s. We were fortunate enough to see our dads hit 2 birds with the 1 stone. Whenever they answer a call, they get to work out their biceps. So we used to have big phones before. We practiced dexterity by playing Snake. And we were fortunate enough to survive the world apocalypse, which is called the Y2K bug.
That never happened.
In music, we actually can see how technology has progressed. If anyone was born a millennial, you would actually know how this can correlate to each other. Everyone burned mixtapes, which they downloaded in Napster. And MySpace actually helped us out. We started uploading our demos in MySpace, and we got a substantial amount of followers in MySpace. Nowadays, everything's in the cloud. I don't know how they do that. So you have Spotify, SoundCloud, and our album actually is available in iTunes.
Another shameless plug.
Another shameless plug. Okay? So as we can see, innovation is really pushing technology nowadays. And this would actually affect how we live, how we communicate, and even in the life of a musician, this actually affects us. Before, you would record your instruments or your voice via a tape recorder. But nowadays, you have what you call DAWs, or digital audio workstations, wherein you can just sit at home, have a mic, plug it in your laptop, and just record away. Oops. Back in the day, you'd have to have a huge bank account to be able to fund an album. But nowadays, you've got bedroom producers making albums in the convenience of their home. Even this guy. His name's Skrillex. I'm not a fan of him. I'm just putting out a disclaimer. But this guy actually went from his bedroom to winning 3 Grammy Awards. Can you believe that? He did it all by himself. Probably his haircut siya rin yung gumawa. And I'd like to pass on the baton to Siopao. He'll talk about, there's always 2 sides to a coin. So Siopao will talk to you about the pros and cons, the negative and the positive of how technology can affect music.
So with technology and music, what's the bad? The first is piracy. So I'm pretty sure maybe 90% of the people in this room have at one point in time downloaded a movie, a song, illegally. I mean, yeah, everyone does it. That's cool. But I think what people should realize is what this does to the artist you're downloading from. So this actually dilutes the artistic value of his output. The artist, he spent time, effort, resources, money, writing those songs, making that movie, filming that movie, releasing that record, and you're just getting it for free. So I think the lesson here is, sure, you can check out songs, you can download, but if you like the artist, go support them, buy their record. I think it's only fair for what you're getting, right? So secondly, it's too convenient, so lack of musical chops. So in the old days, as Bryan pointed out, you had to come into an expensive studio, right? You had to have a big bank account to pay for studio time, which means as musicians, you had to go in well-practiced already. If not, everyone's going to get pissed. Your bandmates are going to get pissed at you because they'd have to, play their parts all over again. Engineers going to get pissed at you because you're using tape. So if you make a mistake, he's going to stop the tape, he's going to cut the tape, he's going to rewind the tape, you're going to record over it, he's going to splice it together again. Your manager is going to get pissed at you because you're costing extra studio time. So with the availability of technology, wherein you can just record in the privacy of your own home, using software in your iPad, your laptop, on your iPhone, it's just so easy to just keep recording music, making all these mistakes, that there is already it's easy as pie. It's just cutting and pasting. You make a mistake, you just delete the track, you record again, you make a mistake, do it again. It just takes 5 seconds. So this can bring about a tendency to be a bit complacent or a bit lazy when it comes to your musicality with mastering your chosen instrument. Because you take it for granted anymore that, you're supposed to come in, you do your job. You're supposed to come in well-practiced. And then now, you can just kind of take it easy. So, next is less organic. So, given that there's so much software out that's available in the market in a variety of products, so as I mentioned earlier, iPads, your iPhone, your laptops, what comes out is you have an amazing, vast array of sounds that you can pull from, like samples, like 1,000 synthesizer samples, thousands of drum samples, thousands of guitar samples. And then usually, if you're a bedroom producer, you can just weave all of these sounds together. So that makes it a little less organic. What do I mean when I say organic? When you're a musician, you hear the music sort of in your head or in your heart. So there's something physical going on here. Like what you feel here or here, it gets transmitted through nerves to come out through your hands. So you can actually play an instrument and then use your hands to affect the sounds you're hearing through that instrument. So now there's a tendency for all that to be lost because you're getting samples and sounds pulled from other people and just weaving them together. Okay? And lastly, you don't need instruments. You just need a laptop. Sometimes this poses a threat to traditional musicians who have studied, musicians who have mastered their instrument, spent countless hours. Now, sometimes you don't even need a full orchestra to go with you on stage. You just need a laptop. And that can pose a threat to musicality. Okay? Now we go to the good, which is basically just a mirror image of the bad. So piracy is a good. Why? Because your music gets shared everywhere in the world. And it's free. You don't need to pay for marketing. You just put it out there, and if you're lucky, someone's going to pick it up, and someone's going to love it. So we have been actually quite fortunate to have been able to receive, like messages from halfway across the world, in Europe, in Peru, in South America, saying, oh, we heard your record, we really like it. We're playing it here in the shop. And that's amazing, because when we started out, we just wanted to play a gig in a local bar. And then now it's halfway across the world.
A friend of ours actually emailed a photo of our album pirated in Thailand.
Which I took as a compliment. Yes. Yeah. So, next. It's too convenient, meaning it's easier to learn, write, record, and play music than ever before. So there's no excuse now to all budding musicians. Go out and make music. It is easier than ever before. You know, any kid with any ideas, like any good ideas, can and should make music. Okay? Next, it's less organic, meaning, as I mentioned earlier, you can have thousands of sounds and samples at your disposal. While it's less organic, you can just imagine all the possibilities that opens up for you. How to weave all of those things in to make a completely unique output. And lastly, you don't need instruments. You can be a one-man army. That can also be a good thing for artists with singular visions, for artists who just want to do things on their own and they maximize their potential by doing that. So, well, this is personal taste, but you can check out artists like Tame Impala or James Blake. These guys do everything in their bedroom and they create modern masterpieces.
So we'll just wrap this whole argument up with these points. Technology in itself is an instrument. We think that we should view technology not as a crutch for musicians, but as a tool. It's part of your toolbox. It's part of your repertoire. We have to embrace it and maximize it. I've heard of musicians who are very purist in their approach when it comes to music. And you know, nowadays, because of the change in culture, change in times, musicality is redefined by the time we're actually living in. So back in the day, they didn't have EDM, back when Bach was composing his masterpiece, right? So that's it. You know, when you use it on stage, you can use it on stage, but practice it very well. Nowadays, you can have people using their instruments very well via laptop, but can't escape the fact that some people just press play. So be honest with your music, be authentic with it. And our answer to the question, has technology killed the musician? No, it has actually even made the musician more alive nowadays. So today, we have a performance for you. We're doing a mix. We have a song called This Is Our City. It's actually a rock city. It's a rock song. You can YouTube it, shameless plug again. But we're doing a new mix. We're actually gonna use our iPads to play the song, but in our iPads, we're gonna use organic instruments. So we'd like to invite Sarah, our singer.
Hi guys.
And can I request for another mic here? Another microphone here.
So for the record, we are using $6 GarageBand software.
I need a mic.
You can, just download straight. All right. Sounds good.
Go.
Smiles at you and says, let this be our day, and the thoughts would come, lost in the vibe that overflows in our veins. Rivers to lay, my day goes on, reverse to lay, I'm here with you. The sun comes up and I would say this is our city. This is our city. I'll be the one who looks at you and says, why think about the boy who doesn't even care, lost in this life between this road and nowhere. Rivers to lay, my day goes on, reverse to lay, I'm here with you. The sun comes up and I would say this is our you and says, oh, I'll be the one who smiles at you and says, I'll be the one who smiles at you and says, if I delay, the sun comes up and I would say this is our city. Ooh, whoa, this is our city. Ooh, whoa, this is our city. Yeah. Ooh, this is our city. This is our fall. Ooh,
Thank you.
Thank
You're taking
you.
my card.